When a girl is treated as merchandise, something inside her dies long before her innocence is stolen. Hello, my dear friends. This is Grandma Teresa, 68 years old, sharing a story that's been locked in my soul for over 5 decades. I'm here on my porch in Bakersfield, California, sipping coffee and nibbling butter cookies as the cicadas hum in the maple tree out back. Today, I'm opening my heart because some truths need telling, even if they hurt to say and hear. Before I start, I'd love for you to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means the world to know I'm not alone in sharing this. Please comment below with the city you're watching from. Your kindness gives me strength. And if you're comfortable, share how many pregnancies you've had. I'd love to read your stories. Let's go back to 1955, before I was born. My mother, Irene, was 18, in love with Anthony, a construction worker in Sacramento. They planned to marry when they learned I was coming. Mum said Dad was thrilled, working overtime to ready a small house on the city's edge. But tragedy struck. A scaffold collapsed at a site, and Dad fell. Traumatic brain injury, they said. He didn't make it to the hospital. Mum, 5 months pregnant, was left alone. I never knew him, but I carry his photo, a shy smile, kind eyes, in a wooden box Mum kept. Mum, with no education and pregnant, couldn't find work. Dad's family in rural Kentucky had nothing to spare. My grandfather, Gerald, offered us a room at his house. It seemed like salvation, but it was the start of a nightmare. I was born in January 1956, at home, with a midwife, a green-eyed girl like my dad. Life was tough but had some normalcy early on. We lived in a small room at Grandpa's. Mum washed laundry, cleaned houses, sold candy at the school gate. It barely fed us, but we scraped by. Grandpa, a former military man, was strict, cold, widowed. He wasn't cruel at first, just distant, tolerating me for Mum's sake. Things shifted when I turned 7. I'd catch him watching me play in the yard. "This girl's growing too pretty for our own good," he told Mum once. I didn't get it then, but now I know he was sizing up my value. At school I was quiet, observant. My teacher called me smart but shy. Truth was, men like Grandpa already stirred a deep, instinctive fear in me. Money got tighter. Mum aged fast, her hands cracked from soap, her back bent from scrubbing. I'd hear her cry at night, pretending to sleep but storing each sob. By 10 I helped, washing clothes, sweeping, selling Mum's cookies to neighbours. I noticed Grandpa's gaze linger on teenage girls passing by, a look that chilled me. "Women are like fruit, Teresa," he said once. "Pick 'em at the right time, not too green, not too ripe." It confused me, but I buried it like so much else. Mum started avoiding him, as if she sensed something too. Years later, I realised she likely saw what was coming, but was trapped by desperation. At 12, Mom got sick, pneumonia, bedridden for 2 months. Debts piled up. Grandpa's pension couldn't cover her medicine. I saw him talking to a stranger at the gate, a fat, well-dressed man in his 40s with a big car. They glanced at me, the man smiling in a way that sent me running inside. "Who was that, Grandpa?" I asked. "A friend who can fix our problems," he said. "He wants to meet you." His words haunted me, alarms ringing in my gut. Mum recovered, but money was scarcer. Eviction loomed. Pharmacies cut off credit. One May night, months before my 13th birthday, I overheard them. "She's too young, Dad," Mum pleaded. "Not young at all," Grandpa shot back. "Dr. Augustus offered good money. Money we need, Irene." "But she's my daughter." "What good's that if you're both on the street? He just wants her to carry a child his wife can't. She's strong, healthy, beautiful." Mum's voice broke. "After the baby's born?" "They take it. We keep the money. If it works, others want the same. We'll be set." Silence followed, heavy with surrender. "All right," Mum whispered, tears choking her. "But I don't want to know details or be here when it happens." I ran to bed, heart pounding, staring at the ceiling, praying I'd misheard. But I hadn't. 3 days later, Mum said she'd spend the weekend at a friend's, avoiding my eyes. "Be a good girl, Teresa," she said, leaving with a small bag. That night, Grandpa tossed a light blue dress on my bed, the prettiest I'd seen. "Put this on," he ordered. "Wash your hair. Dr. Augustus is coming for dinner." My fate was sealed, my body sold without my say. I washed my hair, slipped on the dress, and waited, heart hammering. At 7 p.m, Dr. Augustus arrived with wine for Grandpa and chocolates for me. At dinner, fancy, from a restaurant we couldn't afford, he studied me like livestock. "She's perfect," he told Grandpa. "Healthy?" "Strong, smart," Grandpa replied. "She'll give good offspring." Tears burned my eyes as I stared at my plate. Augustus touched my face, lifting my chin. "No need to fear, girl. I'll take care of you. After our child's born, you'll help your mum for years." His cologne and cigarette smell made me sick. After dinner, Grandpa left for cigarettes, a man who never smoked. The signal. Augustus moved closer on the couch. "Your grandfather explained everything," Dr. Augustus said, his heavy hand on my knee. "You'll carry my child since my wife can't. It's an honour, you know, we're paying well." I tried to pull away, but his grip tightened. "It won't hurt much," he said, his voice turning sharp. "And you'd better cooperate. Your grandfather's got half the money already. If you don't, he's in trouble." In his eyes, I saw my worth reduced to a transaction, and something in me, a dreamy girl who believed in better days, started to die. What happened that night was the first of many horrors. When Grandpa returned, I was curled in a corner, the blue dress torn, stained, my tears silent. He flicked on the lamp and said words that would echo for decades. "Get used to it, girl. This is your role now." My nightmare began, lasting years, costing me 10 children, 10 pieces of my heart torn away, given to strangers, each a living scar of what I endured. The next morning, my body ached, my soul shattered. Grandpa tossed a clean dress on my bed. "Drink this," he ordered, handing me bitter tea, herbs I later learned, to help the seed take. To him, I wasn't his granddaughter anymore, just a tool for profit. Mum came back 2 days later, eyes swollen, avoiding mine. When we met in the kitchen, I tried to speak my pain, my betrayal. She raised a hand. "Don't say anything, Teresa. What's done is done." Anger surged, mixing with love and need. How could she let this happen? Yet that afternoon, I saw her pay overdue bills, stock our empty pantry. My innocence was the price of our survival. I lived on edge, every noise at the gate a threat, every glance from Grandpa signalling another visit. School was my escape, a few hours of pretending to be normal. Mrs. Cynthia, my teacher, noticed my change. "Teresa, something's wrong. Is it home?" she asked one day after class. I wanted to scream it all, beg for help, but Grandpa's threat rang. "Tell anyone, and it's the orphanage, worse than here." I lied, just tired helping at home. A month later, Dr. Augustus returned, then others, older men with barren wives paying to use me. When my period stopped 2 months after that first night, Grandpa celebrated. "First try," he crowed to Mum, who nodded silently. I touched my flat belly, feeling for the life inside, innocent despite its violent start. Dr. Augustus and his wife Claire came the next day. Her gaze, gratitude laced with contempt, burned. "You're giving us a great gift," she said, her smile forced. "But it's our child, not yours. You're just the gardener." At 13, pregnant, my body changed fast. I left school when my belly showed. "We'll say you're with relatives," Grandpa said. "No one will ask when you return without it." Confined to the house, I was fed vitamins, good food, maternity clothes, like a prize hen. Augustus and Claire checked on me every 2 weeks, him measuring my belly, listening to the baby's heart, each visit a fresh humiliation. Mum worked less, bought clothes, went out more, as if escaping our reality. "You're helping our family," she'd say sometimes. "One day you'll understand." I never did. My first child, a boy, was born at home with a paid midwife, a terrifying ordeal for a 13-year-old. His cry woke a fierce love in me. "I want to see my son," I begged, reaching out. "He's not yours," the midwife snapped, handing him to Claire. "You've done your part." His cries faded as they left. I wept, helpless, staring at the ceiling. Days later, Augustus told me his name, Peter Augustus, and gave Grandpa an envelope of cash. "Your share for good work," he said. I never touched it. 2 weeks later, Grandpa announced another couple, a coffee farmer and his wife, unable to carry. "I just had a baby," I protested, my body raw, milk leaking for a child I'd never nurse. "Time is money," he said. "He's paying double." At 14, I was pregnant again, then a third time with barely a break. My strong, healthy body, as Grandpa bragged to clients, recovered fast, an efficient machine in his twisted view. From 13 to 18, I bore 5 children, each ripped from me before I could memorize their faces. To the world, I was the troubled granddaughter, always visiting relatives or sick. In truth, I was a prisoner, a reproductive slave controlled by my family. Mum changed, moving to her own house across town, bought with my suffering. She'd visit, dressed up, always rushing. "Why let this happen?" I asked once, pregnant with my 4th. "Escape where, Teresa?" she snapped. "No schooling, no money, and now a reputation. The reputation they gave me. A girl who vanished and returned pregnant." "Your grandfather has connections," she added. "Powerful people. They don't like exposure." I saw it then. I was trapped not just by Grandpa, but by a system that let men buy girls, ignored the obvious, blamed the victim. Where could I go? Who'd believe me? By 19, I'd birthed 6 children. My body bore silver stretch marks, my uterus weakened. A midwife warned Grandpa, "She needs rest or she won't carry any more." That scared him enough for a year's break, the longest I'd had. That year of rest, forced by my body's near collapse, was both a reprieve and a cage. I was 19, my body scarred and weary from 6 pregnancies, my soul a patchwork of grief. I had no money, no documents, no education beyond what little I'd scraped from school before they pulled me out. Grandpa watched me like a hawk, his golden goose too valuable to let wander. But in that brief pause, I met Jeanette, the herb woman who assisted after births. She'd brew teas, apply salves, and tend my wounds with a gentleness I'd almost forgotten existed. "What they're doing to you ain't right, child," she whispered one day, rubbing ointment into my stretch marks. "It's against God and man's law." Her words lit a spark of hope. Someone saw me, saw the wrong. "Help me escape, Mrs. Jeanette," I pleaded, clutching her hands. She shook her head, eyes heavy. "I can't, Teresa. Your grandfather's got the sheriff bought. I've seen girls try and end up worse off." But she leaned closer. "I can teach you to protect yourself a bit." She showed me herbs to reduce fertility, secret teas to sip between horrors. It wasn't freedom, but it gave me a sliver of control over my body. By 20, I'd borne 7 children, each taken, their names: Peter, Anna, Thomas, Sarah, James, Lily, Michael, etched in my hidden notes under the floorboard. Dates, clients' names, snippets of overheard talk. I hoarded every detail, not yet sure why, but driven to keep their memory alive. My body pressed on, but by my 23rd year, after my 10th child, it broke. The birth was brutal, blood loss, infection, a fever that nearly killed me. The doctor, paid to stay quiet, was blunt. "No more children, her uterus can't take it." To Grandpa, I was a machine that had worn out. To me, it was a twisted liberation. No more pregnancies meant no more use. But what came next was crueler than I'd imagined. Between 13 and 23, I'd lived a decade of hell. Each baby taken carved out another piece of me. To survive, I built an inner fortress, a place to hide the girl I'd been and the love I felt for my stolen children. I learned to drift, to watch my life like a stranger. Dissociation, they call it now. I called it staying alive. After my fourth child, a girl with hair like mine, I saw her face for a moment before they took her. I wept for weeks, then started scribbling on scraps, names, dates, sketches of tiny hands and eyes, to keep them real. Those papers, hidden under my mattress, were my lifeline. My routine was relentless: service periods with men, pregnancies under watch, agonizing births, and brutal separations. The fifth child, a boy, came at 17, the sixth at 18, the seventh at 19, the eighth and ninth by 22, the 10th at 23, nearly my last. In those depths, I thought of ending it all, but my notes stopped me. If I died, who'd remember my babies? Who'd tell their truth? Mum flourished on my pain. Her new house, her clothing store, her trips to New York, all built on my suffering. She'd visit bearing useless gifts, dresses, perfumes, as if they could erase her betrayal. I did my best, she'd say, a hollow mantra. Grandpa's wealth was quieter: a renovated house, fancy drinks, status as a businessman. No one questioned his recluse granddaughter or his sudden riches. The men were all powerful: doctors, farmers, politicians, buying heirs with no questions asked. "You should be grateful," one politician sneered, as if I'd chosen this. Some seemed uneasy, like the professor who asked if I was willing. Grandpa cut in. "Of course she is. She knows her work's value." A lie so bold it choked me. The wives varied, some grateful, some jealous, all seeing me as a tool, not a person. "Don't get attached," one warned, as I hummed to my seventh child, as if I'd had a choice. The eighth birth broke me. A breech girl so tiny I feared she'd die. After hours of agony, a doctor, not the father, saved her. "Be strong," I whispered when they let me hold her briefly. That moment hardened my resolve. If I couldn't save my children, I'd make sure their truth lived. I got methodical: addresses, birthmarks, parents' quirks, anything to trace them someday. Between the 9th and 10th I had 10 months' rest, my body too weak to be used. If my story's touching you, please like and subscribe. Your support means everything as I share this pain. Comment with your city, and if you're willing, the number of pregnancies you've had. I'd love to connect. Grandpa's reaction to my ruined fertility was cold. "You're no use now," he said one evening, eyeing me like spoiled goods. "But we've got debts, and you'll pay them." I braced for worse, expecting to be cast out or sold differently. Instead, he had a new plan. "You're still young, pretty enough," he said. "There's men who'll pay for company, not just babies." My stomach churned. The shift was swift. Within weeks he arranged visits with men who didn't care about heirs, just pleasure. The first was a businessman from Fresno, his breath sour with whiskey. "Your grandpa says you're experienced," he leered. The horror was different but no less degrading. I was 23, my body a map of scars, physical and not. Jeanette's herbs couldn't help now, but her words echoed. "It's against God's law." That spark grew. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was planning. My hidden notes were my rebellion, proof of the truth. One night, after a particularly brutal visit, I overheard Grandpa talking to a new client. "She's done with babies, but she's still worth the price." Rage replaced fear. I wouldn't be their pawn forever. My body was breaking. At 22, I looked decades older, worn by 10 pregnancies, brutal births, and endless abuse. Some days I could barely stand. Jeanette told me Mum had bought a beach house in Santa Barbara, a getaway built on my pain. "She showed up in a new car talking up her beach place," Jeanette said, tending my aching back. "Business is booming." It hit like a blade, Mom living lavishly, untouched by guilt, while I drowned in torment. Her betrayal cut as deep as Grandpa's cruelty. My 10th pregnancy at 23 was grueling, nausea, bleeding, relentless pain. The coffee businessman's doctor, paid to stay silent, looked worried, but never suggested stopping. The baby was too valuable. Labour came early, in the 8th month, a haze of agony and blood. They rushed me to a shady clinic outside town. I saw the doctor's fear, nurses scrambling, Grandpa pale, not for me, but for his lost profits if I died. The boy was born small but healthy, whisked away instantly. I lingered near death, hemorrhage, infection, a ruined uterus. When I woke, the doctor was blunt. "No more children. We removed part of your uterus to save you." For me, it was a cracked door to freedom. No more pregnancies meant no more use to Grandpa. But hope was fleeting. Back home after 2 weeks, Grandpa sat with whiskey, eyeing me coldly. "You cost me a fortune," he sneered. "Useless for babies now." I braced, silent. "But you're still young, pretty," he went on. "Men'll pay for other services." My heart sank. From incubator to sex object, the horror shifted, not ended. That moment, facing the monster who'd stolen my life, I vowed to escape or die trying. I nodded, feigning submission, and retreated to my room. Alone, I swore by my 10 stolen children, Peter, Anna, Thomas, Sarah, James, Lily, Michael, Emma, David, Benjamin, that Grandpa would pay for every tear, every silent scream, every piece of me sold. Revenge would be cold, calculated. As my body healed, my mind sharpened, planning each step. Grandpa gave me 2 weeks before new clients arrived, men seeking pleasure, not heirs, politicians, businessmen, his cronies. I played broken, eyes down, voice quiet, letting him think he'd crushed me. Daytimes, when Grandpa left for business, I searched the house. I needed money, documents, evidence. Money was easy. His arrogance left cash in a wardrobe's false bottom, enough to start anew. Documents were tougher. His desk drawer, locked, held my life, birth certificate, school papers, a vaccination card. Watching him, I saw he kept the key on a chain, except during showers. I made a soap mould of it, crafting a crude key. Inside, I found his ledgers, every transaction, every payment for my body, my baby's names, dates, sums, his trophy of cruelty. I photographed each page with a cheap camera, claiming I was snapping yard flowers. I returned everything, undetected. I needed an ally. Jeanette, with her kind eyes, was my only hope. One afternoon, with Grandpa out, I sent a boy to fetch her, claiming illness. When she arrived, I spilled everything, my plan, my need for justice. "It's dangerous," she warned. "Your grandfather's got powerful friends." "I'm already dead inside," I said, calm but firm. "What's left to lose?" She studied me, then nodded. "I'll help, child, but we must be careful." Jeanette contacted a Sacramento journalist, dropping hints of a captive girl, forced pregnancies, a scheme involving big names, a career-making scoop. I kept up my act, enduring clients, pretending resignation. Grandpa grew sloppy, leaving my door unlocked, lingering away for hours. I prepared a small bag with clothes, hidden cash in socks, documents and photos of his ledgers. The plan was set. On a night Grandpa would be at a commercial association meeting, Jeanette would take me to Sacramento. I'd hand the journalist my evidence, testify, then vanish. If my story's touching you, please like and subscribe. Your support keeps me going. Comment your city, and if you're comfortable, how many pregnancies you've had. I'd love to hear from you. The night came in June 1979. Grandpa left, dressed for his meeting. Jeanette arrived after dark, her old truck rattling up. My heart pounded as I grabbed my bag, the evidence tucked inside. "We've got to move fast," she whispered. We drove to Sacramento, my first time leaving Grandpa's house in years. The journalist, a young woman named Carla, met us at a diner. Her eyes widened as I handed over the photos and told my story. 10 years, 10 children, a grandfather who sold me. This could bring down a lot of people, she said, voice shaking. But we need to protect you. The night of June 15th, 1979 was my breaking point. Grandpa's early return, slurring from drink, shattered my plans. Pack up, he barked, tossing a suitcase on my bed. We're leaving for Kentucky tomorrow. A friend's got a farm. Isolated. We'll stay till things cool off. My heart froze. What things? I asked, voice steady despite the panic. His eyes narrowed, suspicious. My business. Just obey. Alone, I knew he'd caught wind of something. Maybe the journalist digging. If I left with him, I'd never escape. It had to be tonight, without Jeanette, no backup, now or never. His snores echoed as I grabbed my bag. Clothes, cash, documents, evidence photos. At the back window, soft knock startled me, Jeanette's signal. I opened it, heart racing. We go now, she whispered. He knows something. Heard it at the bar. His police friend warned him. The journalist stirred trouble. No time to talk. I passed my bag through, squeezing my scarred body after it. Desperation fueled me. We slipped through dark streets to her nephew's car at the town's edge. No Sacramento, Jeanette said. Too risky. We're going to Los Angeles. My cousin'll hide us. I nodded, clutching the evidence. I sent copies to the journalist, she added. Story breaks in 2 days. Relief mixed with rage. I wanted to see Grandpa's ruin, but knew survival came first. The 15-hour bus ride to Los Angeles was silent. I watched California's mountains fade into city sprawl, fear battling fragile hope. Guilt gnawed, my 10 children, Peter, Anna, Thomas, Sarah, James, Lily, Michael, Emma, David, Benjamin, left behind. They're better off, Jeanette said, reading my silence. Rich families, education, what could you give them now? She was right, but I vowed to find them someday, just to know they were okay. Los Angeles overwhelmed me. Noise, crowds, towering buildings. Jeanette's cousin Zoe took us into her small East LA apartment, wary but loyal. 3 days later, Zoe brought a newspaper. Scandal in Bakersfield. Baby selling scheme involves prominent figures. My hands shook as I read. The journalist, Carla, had exposed it all. My captivity, the powerful men, the evidence I'd gathered. I was a young woman held for over a decade, my name hidden. Grandpa was arrested, along with 2 doctors and a complicit sheriff. Others faced investigation. Mum claimed ignorance, blaming my mental issues and boyfriends. No one bought it. Relief flooded me, justice at last, but sadness lingered for the years stolen, the innocence no headline could restore. What now? I asked Jeanette on Zoe's balcony, city lights sprawling below. Now you live, girl, she said, her eyes wise, for real. I rented a room with my stolen cash, got a bakery job in East LA, waking at 4 a.m. to knead dough. The work, simple, warm, grounding, started healing my frozen heart. 6 months later, in March 1980, Sebastian walked into the bakery, soaked from rain, laughing at his broken umbrella. Perfect day for coffee and toast, right? He said, his smile disarming. A 30-year-old bus driver, son of Honduran immigrants, he'd fought his own battles, orphaned young, raised in hardship, yet kind. His ease unnerved me. Men weren't supposed to see me as human. If my story's resonating, please like and subscribe. It means the world. Comment your city and, if you're comfortable, your pregnancies. I love connecting with you. Sebastian became a regular, always kind, never pushing. He'd talk about his roots, his dreams of owning a small repair shop. Slowly, I trusted him. One day, he asked my name. Teresa, I said, the first time I'd claimed it in years. We talked more, and I shared bits of my past. Not all, but enough. He listened, never judging. You're stronger than you know, he said, echoing Jeanette. In 1981, we married quietly. He gave me safety, a home, a chance to heal. I studied at night, earning a GED, then trained as a social worker. By the mid-1980s, I worked with abused kids, using my pain to help them. I never stopped searching for my children, but records were scarce. Informal adoptions left few traces. In 1990, I found Anna, my second child, now a teacher. We met, tears flowing, no resentment, just love. Others were harder, some gone, some unreachable. I kept their names alive in my heart. By 2000, I ran a shelter for trafficked girls, my mission clear. No one should endure what I did. Sebastian stood by me until cancer took him in 2010. Now, at 68, I'm Grandma Teresa on my Bakersfield porch, sharing my story to show light follows darkness. My 10 children scattered are my fuel to fight for others. Please like, subscribe and comment. Your city, your story. It keeps our grandparents' stories community alive. Life's cruel, but we choose how to rise. My scars are bridges to others' healing. Thank you, dears, for listening. Stay strong. There's always hope. Goodbye for now. He started appearing at the bakery every morning, always polite, always respectful. Sebastian spoke of simple things, the weather, a newspaper story, a TV movie, never prying, as if he sensed the wounds I carried. I dodged him, wary of all men, but his kindness, the way he treated everyone from the bakery owner to the street sweeper with equal warmth, slowly chipped at my walls. Our first date wasn't planned. Rain poured over Los Angeles, and he offered a ride. I accepted, too tired to wait for a late bus. In his clean, old car, we talked. He shared his dream of a small ranch, chickens, a garden. Hope I couldn't fathom. "And you, Teresa? What's your dream?" he asked. I froze. Dreams were foreign. Survival took everything. "Peace," I whispered. "Just peace." He nodded, turned on the radio, and let music fill the silence. Our bond grew gently. Rides, Sunday walks, occasional movies. He respected my boundaries, never pushing. 6 months in, I shared pieces of my past. Not all, but enough. Why loud voices made me flinch, why men too close sparked panic, why children's laughter brought tears. He listened, no judgment, then held my hand. "You're the strongest person I've met, Teresa," he said. I felt broken, but his gaze saw beyond my scars, hinting I could rebuild. Our first kiss, a year later on a park bench by the East LA church, was tentative, gentle. I cried, not from pain, but from realizing I could still feel tenderness. "We go as slow as you need," he said. "I've got time." We dated 3 years before marrying in 1982 at that church, a quiet ceremony. I was 27, reborn. Sebastian knew every dark detail by then. 10 years, 10 children, my grandfather's crimes, and loved me still. Nightmares haunted me. Intimacy sometimes triggered terror, but he held me through every storm, patient, steady. With Jeanette's recommended psychologist, I processed my trauma, learning it didn't define me. In 1984, we bought a modest Riverside County ranch, our safe haven, with fruit trees and open land. That year, doctors confirmed I couldn't bear children, a bittersweet blow. Sadness for not giving Sebastian a child mixed with relief. Pregnancy was tied to trauma. "We can adopt," he said. "So many kids need love." The idea stirred my heart, a way to channel the love I couldn't give my 10. Adoption in the 80s was slow, but we persisted. At a Pasadena shelter, we met Marina, a 4-year-old with wary eyes, abandoned, returned twice for being difficult. Her anger, nightmares, and silence mirrored my own pain. I sang her my mother's lullaby, sitting far enough not to scare her. By day 3, she let me brush her hair. By day 5, she held Sebastian's hand. By day 10, she whispered, "Can I call you Mum and Dad?" In 1986, Marina came home. Her tantrums tested us, but we understood her fear. Slowly, love worked. She laughed at a baby goat on our ranch, a sound that healed. In 1988, we adopted siblings Carlos, 6, and Anna, 2, orphaned by a car crash. Carlos was protective. Anna clung to us, seeking her lost mother. In 1990, baby Wim, abandoned at a church, joined us. Marina, now 10, became his proud big sister. Our home buzzed with life, gardening, swings, Sunday cakes, bedtime stories of found families. My 10 biological children, Peter, Anna, Thomas, Sarah, James, Lily, Michael, Emma, David, Benjamin, haunted me. Were they happy? Did they know their truth? In 1992, a letter arrived, no return address, with a newspaper clipping about a book exposing the Bakersfield surrogate wombs case. The author, a child of an involved couple, had uncovered his origins. The note read, "Thank you for giving us life in the worst circumstances. Some of us know the truth. We're well. Hope you are too." I wept, grief for the girl I was, relief they were okay. I never learned who sent it, respecting their anonymity. Marina became a teacher, Carlos a driver like Sebastian, Anna a musician, Wim a joyful teen. Sebastian's 1995 diabetes diagnosis slowed us, but we faced it together. My grandfather died unrepentant in prison in 2010. Mum passed alone in 1998. They had no hold over me. My family was Sebastian, our 4 children, and now grandchildren filling our riverside home with laughter. Today, at 68, on my Bakersfield porch, I see a life where love outshone pain. Sebastian, greyer but smiling, is my rock. I told our kids my story, age appropriate, stressing it didn't define me. Life can break you, I say, but you choose to rebuild. My scars fuel my work, running a shelter for trafficked girls, ensuring no one endures my hell. If my story moves you, please like, subscribe, and comment. Your city, your pregnancies if you're comfortable. Your support keeps grandparents' stories alive. Life hits hard, but dawn follows the darkest night. My strength came when I felt weakest. A big hug from this grandma. Keep going, there's